What's up, my friends? You got Wes Spencer here with my good friend Tim Golden. Tim, what's going on?
Hey Wes, how are you? You know, this venue here for RoarCon is pretty amazing, being at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. And Bucks fan, I know you stole my Tom Brady, but that's okay. We still love our Patriots and the Bucks. But wow, how amazing is this for Liongard to be able to pull this off in this amazing place?
Yeah, huge congrats to them. Content's been great. The venue is super creative. I absolutely love it. So we've been jam-packed with news lately. And one of the things that I think has slipped the news cycles is one of the new rulings, we can call it judgments, whatever, from Supreme Court. But before we talk about what that is, let's take one step backward.
Sure.
So talk to us about just high level. There's been a number of things that have included MSPs in it from a federal regulation and rulemaking perspective. Every MSP knows about CMMC, but also CIRCIA. Let's not talk specifically about what each of those are, but talk to us about the mandates that come with those, like the teeth that come with some of those things. Before we jump into what we're going to be talking about on the Supreme Court rulings, talk to us about, there are mandates that are coming down the pipeline for MSPs.
There are, you mentioned the 72-hour rule, right? To report on stuff, right? And us as the IT professionals, as the MSPs in that supply chain, not only are we monitoring that stuff to know what we're supposed to be reporting on, but 72 hours is not a lot of time. It's very interesting, if I could anecdote for a second.
Yeah, please.
Right, so when we built our BDCR, our backup in disaster recovery and business continuity.
At your MSP?
Correct.
Okay.
These things did not exist. So we had to pick a number out of thin air because it wasn't, so we actually standardized on 24 hours.
Okay, yeah.
So for us,
That's a lot of time. You get a bunch of extra days?
Yeah, when I saw 72, I was like, oh yes, score, because we said 24, now I got extra time. But the reality is, the 72 hours is not a lot of time, right? Great example, Friday morning. What happened Friday morning this past week, right? The whole CrowdStrike thing, right?
Right.
Reportable incident, all the things, and being able to quickly respond to that in an appropriate amount of mandated time, right? If we look at HIPAA, which doesn't really have teeth, but does have a reporting requirement, right?
Right.
Everybody says HIPAA's not a thing, whatever, there's no teeth. Well, there's still a reporting requirement, right? 500 records or more, you got to report.
Yep.
FTC, same thing. So there's regulations, there's laws, there's things on the books now, not just from a security, but also from a privacy perspective.
Okay.
And that's a whole nother disaster, there's the privacy stuff.
Okay, so now that we're up to speed on reporting mandates, regardless of what your soup du jour of regulation is. Supreme Court had a ruling that and I remember seeing it in my news feed and I read it and I literally thought, I wonder what Tim says about this, because I feel like in the news cycles of what's happened politically, what's happened with CrowdStrike, most people just totally miss them. So explain like we're five here, maybe not quite that level, but a lot of folks didn't understand, I guess we can call it the Chevron ruling, is that right?
Yeah.
Explain to us what it is, and then we'll get into the ramifications.
Yeah, so overturning that, this whole idea of being able to report things in time, the overturning of that rule really has an impact on the MSPs because of how we are involved in that supply chain, how we are literally, I would hate to say culpable and responsible of that kind of stuff, right? We're the trusted IT people, right? So just like ambulance people or lawyers or whatever, they're part of that chain. And so this ruling really flipped that stuff on its head. Now we're part of what could become more culpable down the line.